I know that there are some people here who it's in the middle of the night for you. So thank you very much for your support, for being here, being at Hit Profits. And I want to just answer some of the questions that I saw in this question box before I get started. And one of the very first questions that someone had was, how are you? I miss you. And how is everything? Those types of things. There's a number of members who I've had some interaction with early on in this program on Skype individually. And I know that I haven't had a lot of that same type of individual time with each of you. And I want to say thank you for that support. Thanks for being a good friend. And I've just been so very busy, as you can imagine. And I'm going to be going into that a little bit as we get started here. Some other questions were, someone asked, what percentage of daily profits is from external advertisers, not people joining at Hit Profits? And the reason why people are asking this question is probably because they want to make sure that this is something that they can see lasting long term. The very fact that we do have other outside advertising other than just shares does in of itself show that this is going to last long into the future. Now, if you go to any advertising website and you ask the owner, hey, how much of your revenues are coming from upgrades, or how much of your revenues are coming from actual advertisers, or how much is coming from banners, or how much is this, you're not going to get those answered anywhere. And so that's something that is part of the business model, but knowing that we do have the business model set up the way that we illustrate on the how it works page, that in and of itself does show that this is going to be something that'll be around for quite some time. Now, as far as some other questions here, somebody's asking, why is my mic muted? Your mic is muted because right now you can probably see on the attendee list, we've got over 600 people here in the room right now, 651, 53, 55. If we had that many people talking or having access to the mic, it would be quite loud, quite busy in here. And of course, there's been some other people that have said some really nice things about how great this opportunity is and how great the new login page is. And I want to touch a little bit upon that new login page. You might have noticed that if you got referrals who are signing up for the first time, they're being asked for their phone number now, right there as they're signing up. That way, if you if they're not able to verify their email address, I mean, now that we've kind of done away with that as well, but if you need to get a hold of them for any reason, you want to ask them, hey, I saw that you got started, what questions do you have? Those types of things, you can really help sponsor people, answer questions. And I know that there's a number of leaders who are really grateful for that, because sometimes people don't really know what is really here, going on here at Hit Profits. So reaching out and talking to them can also increase your results in referring as well. Now there of course are a number of other questions. What I want to go ahead and do though is get started. And first of all, I want to welcome all of our new members to Hit Profits. Here's some statistics. I'll just bring these up here for you so you can see. Right now, total paid members, 26,841. And if you've been following the statistics within our Skype groups, then you know that there's been about 1,000 new paid members each day coming into Hit Profits. The total amount cashed out, I'll put commas in here so you can see this just a little bit more clearly, that is $7,372,541.77. Now, that's nothing to shake a stick at, and I know that there's been other opportunities out there claiming paying out quite a bit in a small amount of time. This is actually cashed out through the processors. This isn't just what's being earned on members' accounts. This is what's been cashed out. Because what's been happening, that I'm seeing this happen a lot, is members are earning and they're using their earnings to make repurchases. So this isn't members' earnings. This is members what they've actually cashed out through the processors. And so how much has been cashed out yesterday? 422,106 in just a single day. So I've just been blown away with what's been going on with Hit Profits. We've got a lot of really great leaders, a lot of great members. In fact, I would say that our members are #1 among all of the throughout all of the industry. There's not a better program to be a part of right now. There's not a better membership base. And I just want to thank you all for being part of Ad Hit Profits and making all of this possible. And I know that what's happening here is that the more members we have, the more advertisers say, oh my gosh, I need to put my ads on that website because there's all these people involved. And as that happens, the earnings increase and you see those spikes. And so as people experience those spikes, they're getting out there in the forums and saying, wow, there's a spike. And someone's like, what's a spike? And then there's people in these Facebook groups and forums that are all going, ooh, this is great. And they sign up as referrals and they're getting involved. And then what does that do? That's increasing the membership base, which is increasing the advertisers, which is increasing the amount that you're earning, which is increasing the excitement, which kind of just, as you can see, that's continually bringing on this advancement of growth. And within the next couple of weeks, I can see that what we'll be doing is switching advertising model over to being a pay-per-click model. What that means is instead of paying for a day or a week or a month, you're going to be seeing that you'll be paying like 10 cents a click or something like that, where you can see that the advertising expense would be lower on each individual advertiser, and they can actually only pay for the clicks that they get. So you're actually only paying for the results of the click-through, so that's kind of a great thing for advertisers. But also another great thing about that is with that lowering the price on the individual advertisers, we're going to see an increase in revenues that we'll be able to split with everybody. So that's something that's coming up here soon, I would probably imagine within the next couple of weeks. Now you probably have noticed that the sound is not good. Can everyone hear me okay? I want to make sure that people can hear me, of course. Okay, wow, I'm getting a lot of yeses. Okay, good, good. So with Ad Hit Profits, there's a lot of growth, and I know that for some of you that have been here from the very beginning, you've seen some of those growths, some of the changes, some of the innovations that we've been putting in to Ad Hit Profits, as well as with the increased traffic to the website. You've seen that sometimes there can be some glitches or problems. And I know that within this industry, there's a lot of opportunities out there, a lot of things that have given people a bad experience, unfortunately, within this industry. And whenever there's a glitch or a problem, people can start to really worry, is Ad Hit Profits going to crash or something? Are we going to disappear? And I can 100% reassure you that if there is any kind of glitch or anything like that, we're going to always work through it. And so those who have been with us since April 8th, they've seen how there's been a couple of glitches here and there, and we've always worked through them. And so that's what I see with Ad Hit Profits, is we're always going to be able to work through them. We've really got a top-of-the-line programmer to make sure that all of the glitches, any problems that we're experiencing, will certainly be taken care of, and that will always take care of our members. Now, as also, because we've had so many new members, I want to reiterate how this works. And one of the things that I really, really feel strongly about to make sure that you are aware of is that this is not an investment opportunity. Even though if you make a purchase and you're clicking your ads, you qualify for revenue sharing, and you're actually receiving up to the $56.25, this is not in any way, shape, or form an investment. What you're doing is purchasing an actual service. Now, if you are an online marketer and you've been involved in traffic exchanges or safe lists or any of those other types of things, and you've been tracking your results, then you know that what we've got going on here with these directory listings and these 1,000 visitors to your website, there is some real quality going on here. Real quality being delivered to each of our members. And sadly, there are some members who are purchasing their directory listing, but they're not taking advantage of their visitors to their website. Let me see if I've got an image for you to share from what one advertiser has shared with me. Let me see if I can pull this up here real quickly. I'm going to turn off screen share, so just for a second. Because for me, these results that they shared, I mean, I know that coming from the owner of the company, it can sound like a lot of hype. It can sound like, of course, I'm going to be saying that our advertising services are ranked #1 and things like that. But I mean, for real, advertisers who have been using the advertising service and who have tested it and tracked it, you know, these different services comparative to anything else on the internet, they have actually witnessed for themselves that this is the best experience that they've ever had as an advertiser. So I mean, that's something that I really want to kind of drive home is that there is actual advertising services being offered. And not only that, but those who have been purchasing those advertisement spaces, even the banners on the front pages and throughout the forums and throughout the members area, they're actually seeing some really great results. And we're seeing a lot of repurchases and people, you know, sending in their results and thanking us for helping their business grow or helping their downline grow and saying, you got to share this on your next webinar. And I mean, it's just something that to me just sounds like I'm making it up. But here's an actual advertiser's tracking, and he's tracked a number of different places. And as you can see here, I mean, you might be able to see maybe a higher number of hits coming to a website than other places, but with Ad Hit Profits, their conversion rate or their sign-up rate into their list is actually greater. So as other list builders might be around 0.2% sign-up ratio, with Ad Hit Profits, they're experiencing over 3%. And so please, if you haven't started using your listing, please do so, because this actually is a real product and service that you are actually paying for when you're getting involved with Ad Hit Profits. So as you're getting started with Ad Hit Profits, just remember this is not an investment. So as you're referring others into Ad Hit Profits, that you don't talk about it as an investment and that you don't use the word interest. Because of course there is no interest. I mean, they might be interested in Ad Hit Profits because this is a great place to go to earn money as it's an income opportunity, as well as a great place to go to advertise. So as far as with Ad Hit Profits, let me go over for you how it works and how this can really help you make some more money online, especially if you're just coming in as a new member. How this works is you simply purchase a directory listing for $45 and you'll receive a top directory listing. What that means is when you go to the directory page and there's all of these different listings here, your position lands right on top. Okay? Now, after your purchase, someone else will purchase and place their directory listing on top and continually pushes down and down and down and down. Now, you can bump your listing back to the top, and what that will do is give you another 1,000 visitors to your website, as well as another share in all of the revenues that we're bringing in. So in how it works, you got to click 10 ads every day to qualify for your share in revenue every single day, and you don't have to refer anyone to receive of your revenue shares. And as we have so many banner advertisers buying all of these banners, there is quite a bit of revenue that's coming in, not only from the directory listings, but also from the forum advertising, as people are having to purchase a listing of their business inside of the business area. And then, of course, there's these 728 by 90 banner ads, the 125 by 125 banner ads, the 168 by 60, and you'll see those at the bottom of every page, as well as inside of the member area when you click on an ad and you see the ad window open up, that ad frame, there's a banner on that window. And so you can purchase these different placements of advertising where these people that are on our website are certainly interested in making money online, income opportunities, business opportunities. So I mean, this is definitely targeted advertising for you. There's also vacation mode now, especially as we're coming into the summer. There's a lot more people who are buying this because they need to get away from their computer. There's also a lot of people who are coming involved with Ad Hit Profits who want to purchase the advertising and they want to share in the revenues, but they don't really want to click on ads. So that's what the vacation mode is going to do for you. And you can purchase as many vacation weeks as you'd like. Simply just change the 1 to any other number, and that way you can have it a week, a month, year, however long you want to take your vacation from clicking, you can make that purchase at any time. Now there's also share auto repurchase. That kind of goes along with the vacation mode because people, if they're going to be away from their computer, then they don't want to have to check on their shares. And a lot of times people like to use their earnings to make repurchases. So we had some leaders and members make this request to build that in. So we went ahead and built that in and saw that as a great innovation, as well as added an additional $1 to those repurchases as a convenience fee. And that $1 goes straight immediately into the revenue share pool that will be split at the next 30-minute mark with everybody. So as we have more and more people using that service, then we'll have more and more revenue to share with everyone. And last of the revenue streams is going to be the Easy Bonds share transaction fee. Now, if you haven't yet used Easy Bonds, there's been a lot of feedback from Easy Bonds that it is actually speeding their receival of cash to their bank. One of our members experienced a withdrawal on Monday of 1 week, and they received it by that same week on the Friday to their bank. So that was 4 business days. They received their cash to their bank through Easy Bonds. Now, I know there's a lot of people that are using Solid Trust Pay and Payza, and sometimes it can take a week or sometimes even longer to receive your cash. Now, of course, there are going to be some of those extenuating situations as well with Easy Bonds. They do say that it's usually 1 to 2 business days that you'll receive your cash, but it can take up to 5 business days through Easy Bonds. So there's some real great things here. Now, with the Easy Bonds, anytime anyone makes a purchase or a withdrawal using Easy Bonds, then what that's doing is actually adding 25 cents directly to the revenue share pool, because that's what we get for any of the purchases or withdrawals from Easy Bonds. So that's one of the great things about this system is everything is working together to generate revenue, to target marketing to advertisers or to people that are interested in internet marketing opportunities, and then we're sharing and splitting that revenue with everyone. So that's kind of how it works in a nutshell. So just to kind of reiterate for you, there's all these different streams of revenue that are going in or going out, going through to members through just one outlet. And that's why this opportunity has lasted the way that it has and will be able to continue to last long into the future, many, many years to come. Now, as far as then, where does your share max out? That's $56.25. Each repurchase will bump your listing back to the top of the directory, give you an additional 1,000 visitors. And what a lot of people are really, really loving is that 10% referral commission on every purchase, especially when a lot of the referrals are making a lot of repurchases throughout a day. And so that's $4.50 commissions on every single listing repurchase. And then, of course, each of the other purchases is 10%. So if they're spending $25 on a vacation purchase, then you're going to see a $2.50 commission on your account. So that's really a great benefit for you, is referring and experiencing some really great commissions, as these are real valuable services and account conveniences. So that's how that works. Now, there's a number of people who sometimes, because of how simply it works, they want to speak directly with me before they get started. And I totally, totally respect that. One of the things that I want to reiterate with anyone who might be a leader or someone who's just getting started and wants to talk with me directly before taking the next step, or maybe they've got a team they want to bring in and they're thinking, well, I want to make sure to talk with the owner before I get in. I want you to remember that there's now over 26,000 members, almost 27,000 people who have paid and have gotten involved in Ad Hit Profits. And with that many people, of course, I really can't interact individually with very many people. And that's why I do have a support staff that has been set up to ensure that your questions can be answered. Now, one of the concerns that I'm seeing is that the support staff are being contacted on Facebook, through Skype, through the Skype groups, support tickets, both member and public area support areas. And then there's the sponsor who's sending in a support ticket for their referrals, and the referral who's submitting a support ticket for themselves. And so what you've got is a whole lot of duplication going on. And so what I want to do is streamline Ad Hit Profit support. So if you can, will you please get the word out to your groups, to your people, to only submit a support ticket once and only make contact once. And if you don't hear back through the support desk and you decide to go onto Facebook, or if you decide to go in through the Skype groups, that you please close your support tickets so that you can receive your answers faster, and that when you do get your answer, you don't get a duplicated answer. There are some, I am exploring phone support, but there again, I want to make sure that everyone who's even making those kinds of calls, if they're going to make those calls, will not have already been going through every other option, because some of our support staff have already been receiving phone calls. And so, I mean, you can imagine if you were in our position or their position as well, that being hammered from every which direction and then pulling up the same ticket, or answering the same question, or finding out that another representative has answered that exact question to somebody else earlier in the day, and you've kind of now wasted time. So please, if you will, take care of your teams, answer your team's questions as much as you can, utilize the website. A lot of the questions, and this is absolutely true, and when you click on support tickets, it is very true. We're finding that 99% of the support tickets can actually be answered by visiting the following 2 pages: the frequently asked questions or the common problems and solutions. Every now and then we get someone who says, hey, you know what, I just started and I am having problem clicking on ads. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Well, that's the number one here. In most cases, blocker turned on the browser. And so if you're having problems viewing the ads, maybe the ad might display but the counter might not count, make sure to check the ad clicker or that ad blocker. And if you're having any problems, any questions, please visit the frequently asked questions and the common problems and solutions, mainly because we want to deliver for you the answers faster. And it would be so much faster for you to see your answers right here where they're already at, without having to wait for someone to basically copy and paste from the very answers that are already there for you available. So that's something that's very important. Now, along with this, as I said, it's very difficult for everyone to reach me. There are still a number of leaders that would really love to have a conference call with me and bring all of their group in and those types of things. So what I'm going to be doing every day to save time on me and make myself more available to you as well is making sure that I can do all of my other management responsibilities as the owner of Ad Hit Profits, is to make sure to have those webinars every day at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So for those that are in the UK, that's going to be at 8 p.m., which I've been receiving a lot of feedback from people not only within the United States, but also in the UK, that this is going to be a really prime time for them and their teams to get on board with these calls and be able to ask me questions and for me to show them, you know, because a lot of times what these groups want is a little bit of a presentation to show off what Ad Hit Profits is, how it works, and then open up for questions that I can answer each of their new people individually. So that's something that's going to be launching here, if not by tomorrow, definitely by next week, where leaders will be able to bring their prospects to that webinar each day and be able to open up the questions. And a lot of the questions are very similar on each webinar, so I really believe that having it all together will be able to reach more people. And instead of me being on lots of individual webinars or conference calls throughout the day or even at night, depending on the case may be, I can just have just one, which will then allow me to have more time to take care of other important business matters, as well as spend time with my son. So that's what we're going to be doing here. If not by tomorrow, definitely starting next week. Let me see here. What I'm going to do at this time is bring up the questions that have been coming in and answer them for you. All right, so somebody's asking, can you explain earned amount versus account balance? What you're seeing inside of your back office or your member area are statistics on the left, and then you've got your account balance on the right. Now, what you're seeing on the left are your totals, like your total amount earned. That is all of your commissions and anything that has been added to your account from revenue shares. So pretty straightforward there. Any kind of increase on your account is going to be your earned amount. Now, your account balance is what you've got available. So say you have earned $45 and you now use that $45 to purchase a share. You're actually going to see amount earned 45, but then your balance is 0. And some people might say, well, I didn't cash out the amount earned, but you did use it. And if you ended up cashing it out and then taking that same amount and purchasing a share, it actually ends up being the same, other than you had to pay a little bit of extra cost because of the processor fees. So hopefully that answers that question there. One of the next questions is, let's see, a lot of people just saying some nice things and hellos, and there's some people who say they couldn't understand what pay-per-click advertising is. Pay-per-click is like Google AdWords. People who are saying, I would like to spend $100 on advertising, I want to spend 60 cents a click for making money online opportunities, and I don't want to spend more than $50 a day. You know, those types of things. So with Ad Hit Profits, what we're going to have is your banner will be there, and if you paid, let's say, $100, then you'll, from that amount, it's going to show how many clicks you've purchased and how many clicks you have remaining. And I've also been talking with my programmer as we've been kind of just bouncing some ideas that we're going to want to make sure that each click is identifiable by the IP address. That way, if somebody clicks on it 30 times, they're not debiting 30 clicks from you. So we're definitely looking into the pricing. We're looking into some great techniques. We're making sure that we're going to be providing for you a great service that's comparable to any other kind of pay-per-click out there now. As I said, comparing with Google AdWords, I don't know if you've ever used it, or Facebook advertising when dealing with targeted advertising for making money opportunities online, business opportunities, those types of things. You could be paying 30 cents a click up to $1 or more a click, and I was reading on a website just last night that some people have even paid over $3 a click. So I mean, we're definitely going to be saving advertisers a lot of money on Ad Hit Profits targeting the industry, especially as we keep growing. More of the industry is actually going to be here at Ad Hit Profits. And so that's where I really start to see is, instead of these forums or other groups as being our competitors, and I don't really see them as competitors anyway, because advertisers generally are going to as many different places as they can. So it's not really a competition per se to get their advertising dollars versus someone else's. But we would definitely be able to be a place that can help increase positive interaction for advertisers, between the advertisers and our website, as they're saving more money and being able to pay only for the click-throughs. So that's really what pay-per-click is actually only paying for the click-throughs on their banners rather than paying for a day, week, or a month. Let's take a look here. Why not add Ad Hit Profits as an option instead of replacing? Mainly because the banner space, the more traffic that we get to our website, to accurately price the value of the banners on the website, the best method really is going to be pay-per-click. Because if we start looking at where our website is with Alexa traffic ranking, and how much ad space would cost you on a website that has that kind of Alexa ranking, it would actually be too much. So this would actually save you money versus charging you for what it would actually cost to have it there for a day, week, or a month. So that's the main reason why we don't keep. That's why I would say probably we wouldn't want to keep the current model. We would want to switch over to pay-per-click. Let's take a look here. So as far as another question, are you a registered legal entity? And absolutely, we are registered, Ad Hit Profits LLC. Let me see. Let me turn off screen sharing here real quickly. And I believe that I've got a proof of um, existence downloaded. Let me just double check, because I know that it was sent. Let me just double check here. Certificate of existence. Let me bring that up here for you now. All right, so I don't know if you can see this on the screen sharing, but this is a certificate of existence, Ad Hit Profits LLC, signed by Kathy Berg, Director of Division of Corporations and Commercial Code, and that's within the state of Utah here within the United States. And so you can see our registration number, the registration date, and that it's an LLC, limited liability company. So I mean, you can see all that information that we are an actual real business that is online. So we are registered. Let me take a look at some of these other questions here. Okay, so let's see here. Looks like it accidentally scrolled all the way back up to the top. Okay, so what is Ad Hit Profits' edge over the competition? I would definitely say that when it comes to competition, when it comes to online marketing opportunities, I kind of touched upon this just a minute ago, but there's not really a lot of competition in a way. I mean, there's definitely a lot of opportunities out there. What I would definitely see is there's lots of places to advertise, lots of good places to advertise, and for good marketers to get really good branding and to become established and gain exposure, you're going to want to use as many of these places as you can. So as far as when it comes to an edge over anywhere else, I would say that it comes down to our Alexa ranking, how much visitors we actually have on the website. So let me go ahead and pull that information up, because this is something in of itself that's very phenomenal. This website, Ad Hit Profits, just cracked above 1,000 just 2 days ago. So yesterday we were at 921. The day before we were at 800 something. So we've definitely got a lot of visitors now. For anyone who's not really skilled in Alexa ranking and what this actually means in terms of traffic, let me show you here real quick another website that kind of tracks these types of things a little bit more. This Alexa ranking actually shows, or what this Alexa traffic ranking means, is that we're getting over 2 million page views per day. So all of those ads that are on the website that people are paying $12 a day, they're splitting their share of over 2 million page views every single day. And how many of these people are unique visitors to the website? This is showing as 254,910 unique visitors to the website. So this is something that's astounding. It's something that is truly phenomenal when it comes to a lot of advertising businesses out there, advertising options out there. You're not going to have that kind of exposure throughout the entire industry, and that's one reason why we don't have a lead capture page or a splash page or something like that, is to give advertisers more exposure to their advertising that they're buying on our website. So as you're promoting your Ad Hit Profits referral link, maybe on a safe list, traffic exchange, a pay-to-click website, through to your list and those types of things, anyone who's coming to visit the website is now targeted for income opportunities, as well as you're going to be able to increase the value of the advertising to people who are targeted for those types of opportunities. So, so I hope that clarifies a little bit of what is our edge over the competition. But like I said, when it comes to internet marketing, internet advertising services, the good professional advertisers, they're using multiple ad resources, and they really should, for the best exposure. Because the more that people see that you're everywhere, the more they feel like they really need to get involved with what you're doing. So if you're only using 1 or 2 advertising resources and you're not having the results that you're looking for with internet marketing, you're going to want to really use more advertising resources. Expand your footprint, and you'll expand your results. Let's take a look here. If someone views 14 ads, can those 4 extra ads be carried over for tomorrow? The system, what it does is it tracks how many visitors or how many websites you visited in the last 24 hours. So if you click 10 now and then 4 later, then it might say later that you still have clicked 10. So, and that's just because the time might have passed from the first click that you had. So you'll want to always make sure that you're clicking 10 within the last 24 hours. They don't carry over. The system is very strict in that, making sure that you have clicked 10 ads within the last 24 hours for you to qualify for your revenue shares. It says, is it necessary for that 20-second password? I'm not too sure what is meant by 20-second password. Maybe it's a secondary password, and I would say that it definitely increases security to your account. And I know that your accounts, anyone who's out there, be very careful with clicking on links. I know that hackers are very aware of Ad Hit Profits. They know that we pay, and they're getting word from our members of how much we've paid out, and so they are targeting your accounts. So please, 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 clean your computer before logging into your email address. Please clean your computer before logging into Ad Hit Profits. If your email address is compromised, then the hacker can gain access to your account. And if they can gain access to your account and reset your transaction PIN, then they can send that to your email, which means that they have access to your earnings. So please, 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 take accountability of your account. I mean, this is something that's paramount for each member to take full accountability and responsibility over your account, your earnings, and what's there. I mean, there's been those who have been saying lately, this is income, so treat it like a business. Treat this with some respect. This is something that you've got to recognize as real money, and you've got to recognize that as it's working, that we all need to work together to keep it working, and we want to make sure that your earnings stay yours and they don't go to hacker. So please take care of your account. And when you see those alerts saying, please, everyone, reset your, get a new password today, just because what we're seeing is we are seeing a number of members who have fallen victim to some hacker attempts where maybe they have sent out your password's been reset email, click here. And if you look at the link closely, it might look like a link, but if you click on it, it's actually going to somewhere else. There are those things that are going on out there. Hackers are very smart, and they're trying to do everything that they know in their power to take your money away from you. So please keep your account safe. Let's take a look here through some other questions. You're paying out about $422 a day, or $422,000 a day now. At what point does that become an issue with the payment processors such as Solid Trust Pay or Payza? I've been talking with my Payza account manager. I asked them if there's a maximum that I can pay out per day, and they said there's not. There's absolutely no maximum. They do have a $50,000 maximum on a withdrawal, like a single payment to one person. So, I mean, if you ended up earning more than that, I mean, that's probably not going to happen, but who knows? I mean, there's been other records being broken with Ad Hit Profits. Maybe that's going to be another one of them too. But as far as with any kind of limitations with that, with Payza, there's no problem there. I've also not had any problem with Solid Trust Pay either. They do have, within my own system and within my own account, I can set a maximum of how much is paid out in a day. So I don't know. I know that there's been some other opportunities out there who have maybe claimed any kind of maximum. I don't know if what they bumped into is possible, but so far as I've been speaking with the processors, they have not expressed any concern or any problem with any maximums with being paid out in a day. And I can imagine that, I mean, if we're reaching nearly, in some days even over $500,000 in a single day, I would guess sometime in the future we're going to be paying out $1 million in a day. And so, I mean, at those types of rates, I know that there's some people that have concerns on those types of amounts, but as far as what I'm finding out from the processors, there shouldn't be any kind of problem that we'll bump into with that. What recourse do we have if we make a purchase of one of the advertisers and have been caught in a scam? Well, when it comes to when you click on an ad on the website and you decide to sign up for that opportunity and it turns out that it's not paying, I'm really sorry if that has ever happened to you. Definitely, I would say that there's nothing that I can do personally, and within our terms of service as well as our privacy policy, we do say that our site is completely separate from any third-party offers that are contained on the website. So this is definitely different, certainly separated. Now there is this question, and someone is saying, why are earnings slowing down? And to those who I've been talking with, they laugh and they just don't even, it boggles their brain whenever someone asks this question. And the main reason why these people are laughing, and I totally understand why this is happening, is there's been an amount of being spoiled, I would say, going on here at Ad Hit Profits, especially with a lot of the growth, the increase of advertising purchases. Now, just so that you know, let me pull up our questions here. Most common questions is exactly what's going on here is my earnings are not consistent. Why does it go up and down, and why does it change? Now remember, this is a legal revenue share, which means that we split profits with you from actual ad sales on the site. And sales of ad services are, not the shares, can fluctuate. And so to increase your share, then I would recommend and I would advise sharing and recommending our ad services with everyone, because they really are of high value. I mean, you've seen how much traffic has come to our website. If you've tested our website, or if you've tested those advertisement spaces, you know that there's great value in them. So, I mean, definitely refer. The more advertisers we have, the more revenues that we have to share with you. Now, as far as with slowing down, that can sometimes become astoundingly funny, because some of these other revenue share sites that are actually illegal Ponzi's, which is actually kind of an interesting situation in of itself, where we are actually legal, and the amount that we're actually paying out daily, even on our, what people might say, a slow day, is way above what some of these other sites are paying out in a day. When it comes to, if you take the $45 purchase on your revenue share, and you say, for example, you got $1, that's 2%. That's over 2%. And how many sites out there say, get paid 2% daily, those types of things. And people love that, especially as there's been some major opportunities in the past that were paying 2% daily, and unfortunately they're not around anymore today. And that's because they ran out of money. But with Ad Hit Profits, the way that this is set up is actual advertising revenues are being shared with you, and people are tracking, of their $45 purchase, that they might be getting back 17% in a day. And they're saying this is slow. I think that anyone who thinks that earnings are slow, I don't know. I mean, if you've ever joined anything else and not referred to anyone, and you saw your balance stay at 0 for 10 months or 12 months, you're earning in Ad Hit Profits, and you're earning a lot more than what you've ever earned before. You might see some days that are booming and some days that are not as booming. I would just say it's actually quite fast, no matter how you look at it, especially if you start to take into consideration some of these other opportunities that are offering such lower percentages that people were able to harness and take advantage of and retire from. And unfortunately for those people, those opportunities have crashed and fallen because they were actually Ponzi schemes. Now, to kind of clarify, again, like what I was saying before, this is not an investment opportunity. A Ponzi is when you're taking an investment where money from an investor and offering them interest, okay, and from that interest, you're actually paying that interest from new investor dollars. There's no trade of commodities or precious metals or anything like that. It's just you're taking money from other people to pay for the interest of other people. And so you can see how eventually those things crash, and that's where you're seeing some of these opportunities now that have stopped paying. Maybe they've had to do resets and restarts, And there's been those types of programs for the last couple of years with resets, restarts, repurchase minimums, and they call it a reinvestment to keep it stable. That's all Ponzi. The great thing about Ad Hit Profits is we're never going to require you to repurchase anything, because that's not what's keeping Ad Hit Profits alive. We actually have valuable services that advertisers are truly enjoying, and they're making those purchases because they're growing their other business opportunities. They're getting referrals to their other websites. They're growing their lists. They're growing their teams. So there is some real value here. So that's where this isn't in, those types of opportunities at all. So to answer that question, why have earnings slowed down? I would say the earnings are not slow. But you're definitely going to see some fluctuation because this is a truly legal revenue share. And when you've been maybe with some of these other types of opportunities, you might see a consistent rate every single day. And that's where those types of programs can get into either legal problems or they can run out of cash. Let's see. Is it possible to clean up the area where referrals are to join? Is it very busy? It can be confusing for new people. I can respect your concern with that. When it comes to the site, I've tried my best to have the sign up button very easy to be recognized. There's an arrow pointing at it. So hopefully that can help clarify things if there is any confusion. Of course, there's always going to be human error, but for the most part, I mean, especially when looking at our membership base of over 26,000 members, the number of cases where there's been any kind of confusion, I think, has been a very small percentage, just taking a look at it that way. Is there a better way to purchase directory advertising, a better way than Solid Trust Pay or Payza? Pretty much right now, Solid Trust Pay, Payza, and Easy Bonds are going to be the only ways available for you to make purchases. And the main reason why that is because if you do want to make a purchase with credit card, Solid Trust Pay is available for you, Payza as well. Any other kind of sending a wire transfer or anything like that, that's available also through Payza, Solid Trust Pay, as well as Easy Bonds to make sure that the cash that you're sending. I just want to reiterate that using these payment processors really is a great safeguard for you as a customer, because if there is any problem, then you can always contact the processor and say, hey, look, there's a problem going on. And in those cases, then they can help you get your money back. You know what I'm saying? So if I was to accept direct payments, that increases risk on yourself as well as fraudsters. It can definitely attract more of those. And so, I mean, they definitely use a lot of credit card fraudulent types of techniques. And so not accepting direct payments that way also helps reduce my risk as well. So that's why I use the processors. Plus, within this industry, those types of processors are highly used anyway. Also, are there videos on the website? Right now, there's not any videos that are available as far as video placement, but one advertiser asked today, hey, can we put a YouTube link as our target link with our banners? And absolutely yes, you can use your YouTube link, and so when someone clicks on your banner, they can go directly to a YouTube video. So, I mean, if you wanted to have a screenshot of your video and put a little play button in the middle of it and make a banner out of that and have people say, oh, there's a play button, and then click on it and then go directly to your video, that's definitely something that's available for you already. You can certainly do that. I think you should sell the first screen that we see to log in. Everyone sees it for 5 seconds. I definitely like that idea. The main reason why I don't is I've used login advertising as an advertiser myself on a different website, so I was paying for that advertising space, and yes, I did get a lot of views that way, and sure, I got some clicks, but because those clicks, people actually, within their mind psychologically, they're on the way logging in, they've got something else on their mind. They're wanting to log in, maybe check their balance, maybe cash out, maybe place an ad, whatever it is that they're doing, they've kind of got this mode within their mind what they want to do. So what I want to kind of do is keep advertiser results high, and I believe that if I have that on the pop-up page, it might increase revenues to disperse and share with everyone. But I think that for advertisers, I mean, just my own personal experience on other websites that have offered that space, I didn't actually see any results that way. So I would prefer to have things a little bit more results oriented. So that pop open window, I want to kind of keep for news. so that when people see it, that it actually is going to educate them on something or share something that way. How can you pay people that big of money? You know, that's a good question. I am blown away by it myself, and really what there is there's real sales coming in for advertising service and directory listings. So as you saw with how it works, all of these different, you know, where are the revenues coming from? All of these revenues every single day actually total to be quite a bit. And so as we are paying out, the amount that's inside the processors completely cover every member's earnings. And it's been audited quite a bit, making sure that whatever is on your account, whatever you have earned, whatever, I mean, if I was to add together every single balance on every single person's account and took the amount that's in Solid Trust Pay and added that with what's in Payza and added that with what's in Easy Bonds, there's actually every bit of member earnings fully backed with real money inside the processors. And that's what I really like about how this system works. I believe that that's one reason why we've become so successful, is because when people are requesting their payment, they're receiving it fast. Why is it so fast? Because the money was there to begin with. First the money comes in, then we disperse that with the members, and so as you're seeing those spikes and people are seeing their balances increasing every day, you're certainly going to I mean, if you decided, oh, I'm going to just cash out, I'm not going to repurchase, you're going to get that payment probably within the next few hours. Now, the only delay, and just to kind of clarify for you, there are some members who have experienced some delays, and they've done that to themselves, unfortunately. They're entering in the wrong processor details. And I know that some account types, or maybe some people, have blocked direct payments into their account. Maybe they've said, I don't want to receive payments from the United States. I had a number of a number of accounts where I had to actually work with my account manager to email these people from Payza so that they knew how to go into their account and accept payments from me, because they were requesting and requesting and requesting, and I was trying to reach them, and finally I had to get them to receive something directly from Payza to instruct them how to unlock the ability to receive their payout. And so there's some people who have set it up to where they can't receive direct payments anymore. If you've not received a payment instantly, you might have entered in an email address when you should have used a Solid Trust Pay username. You might have used a username instead of your Payza email address, or you might have used a username in place of your Easy Bonds Easy ID. So those are the things that kind of can complicate or slow down the processing of your payout. So there's always going to be money there for you to make sure that you get paid there. So let's see. I'm seeing that there's some people saying that they can't hear me. Is everyone still able to hear me okay? All right, great. Now, I'm going to be wrapping up in about 7 minutes, so I'm going to be trying to answer just a few more questions before we wrap up. I want to try to keep these webinars to about an hour. So there's some other questions here about, let's see. I'm just going to scroll back up here. Some people have been requesting me to phone call them directly, and that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, is I really can't make those types of calls to everyone. And I mean, if you were, for example, to go into your computer store and say, oh, this looks like a really great computer, but before I buy this computer, I'm going to call Bill Gates. I mean, how many people do you think Bill Gates is going to get on the phone with before they buy computers? I mean, you just kind of got to try out the computer for yourself, and if you don't like it, then don't use it. But I mean, we're seeing that pretty much everybody who's getting involved with Ad Hit Profits is loving what they're seeing, both in terms of their advertising results as well as their earnings, whether they are referring anyone or not, and especially more so when they're referring, of course, because of those commissions that are tied in there. There's some people that are saying that they're locked out 3 days because of password failure. How do you get back in? I'm not sure of what might have caused the password failure to begin with. I mean, especially as I've been looking at things from this side of things. We've got over 26,000 members there's such a small percentage of people that are reporting any kind of password issues. And what I would certainly do is request a password reset. If you're having any problems receiving your password reset email, please send a single support ticket through, and I'll show you that page again. You just go up here, you click on Contact, and you fill out your details, and in the message, you make sure to include your username. And what we can do from our support side is help respond to that. And if you really can't, we might find out to make sure, hey, did you receive your email? Because I know that sometimes emails can be delayed. And it's mainly because of the email provider that you're with. I was speaking with my host, and they were explaining that with some email providers, they block how many emails can be sent through Hotmail in a day or AOL from our IP address within a day or within an hour. So if you're requesting 6, 8, or 10 emails to be sent to you, what you're doing is bogging down not only our system, you're bogging down the emails being sent through Hotmail or something else, and making it so that you can't receive those. And sometimes Hotmail, what they'll say is, oh, it looks like this particular email address is being spammed by Ad Hit Profits. We're going to block Ad Hit Profits from sending any more emails to that particular person. So please only request once and give it some time. And if you don't receive an email, contact support, and then we can generate a password for you and put that in your response so that you can at least have that. But one of the things that can happen is you might be requesting that password reset again and again and again. We'll reset it for you too, and then when you get that password reset, you've already reset it after that. So that password reset that we're sending you won't work. So please be very meticulous in the solution of your own problem and just do it once, and that way you can ensure that any problem can be more easily rectified there for you. Let's take a look here. And we got 3 more minutes, so let me go ahead and just go through a couple more questions. Would you give us a little more info on Easy Bonds, reputation, security, etc.? Easy Bonds has been around for about 10 years. A lot of their interaction, from what I understand, has been mainly with government agencies within Australia. That's just what I was reading on a particular website. But definitely one of the future webinars, I've been talking with some of the people over at Easy Bonds, and they've expressed willingness to come on a future webinar to explain some of the benefits of using Easy Bonds, as well as how not only does it make it easier for you, saves you money off of those transaction fees, but also helps share in the revenue with Ad Hit Profits to make this a better and more stable, or not more stable, but a more profitable business opportunity for you and everybody else. There's one saying, I see some copycats on the way. Please, Charles, advise our members to be loyal and work their marketing ways up to make one of the great things about these other advertising companies, if they're revenue shares or what have you, advertising on Ad Hit Profits is certainly targeted advertising. So if somebody is launching a revenue share, certainly advertising a revenue share business opportunity on a revenue share opportunities website is going to be targeted advertising. So I really actually am grateful for the copycats, and I don't really consider them copycats because revenue sharing is something that's not new with Ad Hit Profits, but certainly there's going to be more and more people that are going to be using this type of a model because it works. But of course, it's something that you should always be careful of with the model. Always do your research into who the owner is and make sure you're not going to be taken for a ride or scammed, or if they've had businesses that have been here today, gone tomorrow type of a thing, keep an eye out for that kind of a thing. And of course, there's always going to be people that have learned and things like that. Now, there is a question that says that they were with Zeek and were burnt with that. There's been people who have, a number of people have been asking, how does this compare with Zeek rewards? I don't really know how to illustrate it any better. Let me see if I can pull up some information. I'm going to turn off the screen share. I'm going to probably go a little bit over, but I want to address that because, this is very important, because there are a number of people who have been in something like Zeek Rewards or Banner's Broker, or just a number of things like that that have not exactly been exactly how they were illustrated. And Zeek, of course, was shut down. So, with Ad Hit Profits going as well as it is, everyone's concern is making sure that it can keep going and keep online and something that they can see for years and years to come. So I definitely can respect that concern. What I actually did is I asked my compliance officer to dig into this just a little bit so that we could get some real solid answers. And he got back with me. And let me actually post this on the screen so that you can see. So this is what he sent me, just in a nutshell. And that is that Zeek Rewards was shut down. They were being called as a $600 million Ponzi scheme. And so, I mean, that's something that's important to clearly show you, is that Ad Hit Profits is a legal revenue share model, not a Ponzi scheme. There's a couple of things that are here. Is website fraudulently conveyed the false impression that the company was extremely profitable when, in fact, the payouts to investors bore no relation to the company's profits. So most of Zeek Rewards' total revenues and the net profits paid to, quote, investors have been comprised of funds received from new investors. So that's what they were experiencing, is that they were claiming that they were making more than what they actually were. And so if everyone was to have cashed out all of their earnings all at once, then there wouldn't have been enough in their processor accounts to complete those payments, because it was a Ponzi. I mean, that's the great thing about Ad Hit Profits. It's something that I know that, since we are standing out so much in the industry, that I've been keeping a very close eye on and auditing quite regularly to ensure that our members' earnings are completely backed up in the processor, so that if I was audited by the government, they would see that we're absolutely, completely, and fully compliant, and that we're not making any false claims or false impressions or anything like that, that everything is fully compliant and legit. Now, another thing that people might not have remembered is that they were also selling securities. Okay, so people were purchasing securities in the form of investment contracts. So with Ad Hit Profits, there is no investment contract. There's no kind of security whatsoever that's going on here, so there's no need for us to register with the SEC. So we're not going to be investigated by the SEC, and if we are, then they're going to say, oh, well, we don't. This isn't a problem. So to kind of reiterate here, Ad Hit Profits pays up to 125% of each directory listing sale. So that's the $56.25 by way of advertising services and the share purchases that are sold daily. So not only are we splitting profits from those shares, but also additional services as well to come up with that additional revenue. Ad Hit Profits does not convey any false impressions. All of the information on the website is 100% factual. We're not misleading. There's everything there that's completely legit, and everything is following through exactly the way that we say. Money earned does not come from new investors, but from actual sales, actual purchases, people buying actual services. For example, if you were to go to a forum or a directory online or anywhere else and paid for any kind of advertising service whatsoever, you're paying for it. And where does that money go? It goes to the owner of that website. Maybe in some cases they might offer a 10% commission, but Ad Hit Profits offers that 10% commission and then splits that with everybody as well. And so that's where there's no interest, there's nothing like that. It's not investments. Your account shares and your increases there are coming from actual sales revenues. Ad Hits does not offer any form of securities, and we wouldn't, because we're not licensed, and payouts do not exceed total revenues, or even balances on accounts for that matter. So hopefully that helps clarify how Ad Hit Profits is fully legal, compliant with all the United States laws and regulations. If you have questions about that, definitely see our terms of service and our privacy policy on our website, and do some research into what the laws are, and you'll find yourself coming to that conclusion that Ad Hit Profits is fully legal, fully compliant. We're operating under a legal revenue share model, and all I can just say is thank you to everyone who's been a part of Ad Hit Profits. Thank you for being Ad Hit Profits. Thanks for being here. Thanks for taking time out of your day, night, or evening, whatever time it is in your part of the world. Thanks for being here, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, night, or evening. And God bless.